Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What's going on, y'all? It is your girl, Ray P, and we are back for another episode of the We Got Y'all podcast covering reasonable doubt. Of course, I am not here alone. I am here with my road dog, good friend, Kyron Richardson. What's going on, friend?
What's happening, Ray P? How you feeling?
I feel good. I'm here. There's
We here. We here.
no
Yeah, I'm
church in
feeling
a
good too.
while. We here.
No church in the wild. 100% facts. I'm feeling good as well. Looking forward to talking about this episode with you.
For sure.
Had a great week. Just kind of wrapping up the weekend or starting the weekend, should I say, with some
Mhm.
recording with my favorite person in the world. So here we are. Shout out to Ray P, man. If y'all looking on YouTube, I do this from time to time just to make sure y'all might have to get. Rachel got moves to make today, so she already done up for the day. So this ain't college football Saturday for Rachel with those state hoodie on. She out here, she head turning today, but
Well,
um,
I do what
we
I can
appreciate.
for the people.
Hey man, the people, I'm sure they appreciate it. But we are here today to talk about Reasonable Doubts,
Mhm.
episode 6, as Rachel mentioned. No Church in the Wild, intro track to Watch the Throne. Before we get started, I want to thank all y'all for tuning in. As always, please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend, the whole nine. If you're watching this show, we want to get your thoughts on some of the things we've been discussing as well, because boy, does this episode provide a lot. And it was
Correct.
directed by the legend Terry J. Vaughn. Shout out to Terry J. Vaughn. Written by Tiger Williams. And the synopsis: the defense gambles on a risky first witness, dragging Ozzie's darkest trauma into the light. A family dinner shatters Lewis's or perception of everything he thought he knew. Rachel, episode 6. What were your opening thoughts? How'd you enjoy it? What you think?
Honestly, I loved this episode. I was digging because I thought we had a comment on last week's episode. I was trying to find it, but I don't got my glasses
Was it
on.
on? I can look for it while you talking.
I think it's on IG. I don't know if it's on the page or if it was on my page, one of the reposts, but it was from my friend Sierra. So shout out to that if you can dig it up really quickly. I loved this episode. There was a lot going on. Obviously, we got Jax more court, and I we knew that there was potential for her to bring Monica to the stand, and we saw that unfold this week. I honestly was not expecting it to turn out the way that it did. I didn't know what to expect, but I was very shocked at Jax being so, I don't even really want to say tactical, but being so, dare I say, aggressive in her pursuit of Monica, even though I probably should have, because we know that she's become a fierce protector of Ozzie. So that was a little shocking to me. We got Bill news and answers. We wondered whether or not Bill was going to actually go back to the big bosses. And we see that he did, which is unfortunate because I was actually starting to give Bill a little bit of credit, but you already know you really can't do that. If you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So there's that. The Sally of it all, surprise, surprise. I did not know that is, I just didn't expect her to be so hard up for Dick because you just broke up with your husband. Like it's not like you were abstaining during the separation. So that was a little weird for me, but here we are. Kristen bombed on the stands, but part of me feels like it's intentional.
We talked about it last week. Kristen got a lot going on. So
Kristen got a lot going on. So
yeah.
I'm very curious to see what she has going on. We have a new prosecutor. We got big news about Mama Lou, actually. We see
Mm-hmm.
Eddie is still on his sobriety journey, maybe. So I enjoyed this. There was a lot going on, and it definitely wasn't filler, but I know that it's setting us up for big climax and the falling resolution. How about you?
Yeah. Maybe the best episode this season so
Okay.
far.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't really go back until the end of the season, but so far, just as far as rewatchability, enjoyability, connecting dots, I think all this episode had all of it. We have Lewis's family, his
Mhm.
parents, and interesting conversation to be had about their parents' situation, which I think is more common than a lot of people realize or maybe think, and just his reaction to things, and obviously getting the news about Mama Lou. Daniel and Kristen, just a lot going on in that whole thing. Both of them have too much going on for me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody around Jax has a lot going on, and it kind of indirectly affects Jax. When we talk about Sally, Bill, Daniel, Lou, it's like all these different extensions that are going on that, yo, what are y'all doing? And she's sitting there being the one telling them, yo, y'all messy, y'all doing too much, and the whole nine. So I really enjoyed it from top to bottom, and then actually getting some what I hope is resolution to Ozzie and his abuser when Monica took the stand. And I do want to give a shout out to Kyle Berry, who's playing Ozzie, because I think he's doing an incredible job of what someone in that situation who experienced that type of abuse, what their reaction would be, mixed in with the public eye being a child actor to adult thespian and everything. Just his reactions, especially in the courtroom, and his physical performance and all of that, I think he's doing a really good job of it, and makes it very convincing of this. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the season, Rachel. Is he acting? In this moment, I didn't think he was acting. I think that's real trauma, and that's real years and years and years of it. Now, there are a lot of moments where he is, selling it.
For sure.
I can admit that. But this one felt very authentic, and it's hard to walk that line between is this real or is it not? And I think he did a great job of it. Even though Ozzie is, not necessarily a good human being, and there's a lot of complicated feelings with that relationship, as we'll see in this episode. So, with that being said, Rachel, where would you like to start?
Let's knock Bill out of the way.
Okay. Like Sally.
Can I also just say that I hate that her name is Sally? That is such a
that is bothering. It is bothering. And it makes it easy for me to remember, because it's like, who got that goofy ass name, Sally?
Yeah, man.
But shout out to Sally. As you said in your intro, Vince and Steven pull up on Bill in the office and inform him what this big move is. And I think we both kind of had it right, where there is another firm. We said they might have been starting their own, they're being acquired by a larger firm.
Yeah.
Which may or may not. I started thinking about this. I don't know how large Corey's firm is or what his role in it. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I know they're based in Chicago, but obviously expansion. We saw in Insecure. You got a Chicago office, got an LA office. When Molly was working for that firm.
Yeah.
And it could happen. They're both large cities, so I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. But they aren't sure if Jax is going to be a good fit for the transition, given that she doesn't play well with others. Bill, I don't want to say reluctantly, because he didn't really have to be, his arm didn't need to be twisted to give up
Not
the
at
information.
all.
He did admit that, hey, I was trying to be heard on this case about a certain witness that Jax was to put on the stand. I wasn't listened to, or barely, just a little bit. And of course, that's what Steven Vincent want to hear, because, hey, this is exactly what we're talking about. We need to make sure we have everything aligned for this move. And they noted it. And then that ended up coming up later on in their meeting when they asked what the update on the trial is. Kind of share a look and say, hey, any concerns about the witnesses, which is a very random and odd question to ask.
For sure.
Even though they kind of confirmed with Bill, like, hey, we won't put it in a way where it's going to fall back on you. Yes, it is. Because why else would you ask me about my witnesses and if I'm concerned about them? Unless that's the norm, which I doubt is when you're in Jack's position. Even if she is used to getting nitpicked, not to that.
Not to that.
What y'all doing? So she immediately looks over at Bill, and Bill looks guilty. Can't even look her in the eye. And she gives an explanation on why she's going to do what she's going to do. They can't play it safe. Client's fighting for his life. And then later on, we also see that Jax confronts Bill about it, and he gaslights her. Pretty much just said, I can understand why you're paranoid. Sure. And it really made me dislike Bill, but for some reason, I don't hate Bill. Or he's still not all the way across that line yet, because I don't know why. What do you think about all that went on? And how do you feel about, like, are you out on Bill completely, or is there still a little bit of
I'm out on Bill completely. I'm totally out on Bill. Even though we had the question of whether or not he would oblige the other partners. Okay, You did it. To your earlier point, his arm didn't need to be twisted really at all. You were very forthcoming with that information. So that lets me know also that you felt some kind of way about Jax going with her gut, because let's not forget, she is first chair. She is already a partner. She is the one. So there is something about you, Bill, that is also questioning her motives, questioning her expertise. I don't fucking like that. Then you got in this meeting looking around at the sky, playing fucking dumb. And then when I confront you about it, I know that you're going to lie, but it is the gaslighting and the manipulation of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I could take a lie, just be like, I didn't say shit. I don't know where that came from. But then to try to placate me in the midst of that, and this is audience fourth wall shit. Jax got too much other shit going on
Yeah.
to be worried about her partner, somebody that I'm actually entrusting, which we know Jax really doesn't do because she doesn't play well with others. And so I'm giving you an opportunity, and this is how you do me. I don't fuck with that. So I have this. We'll get to the Kendra of it all. You trying to get your family back. It's not working out how you thought it was. Shout out to Kendra, because she already peeped out that this nigga was whack. So after having 3 kids, but whatever.
Yeah.
Better late than never.
So usually how it works.
All right.
Usually how it works.
We ain't got no kids. Shout out to all of y'all.
Yeah.
But, but then I see you out. Me and my homegirl have just reconciled. We're chilling, having some girls' time, debriefing about the bullshit of the day and just of the world. And I see you. I really don't want to fuck with you, because I do believe, even though Jax took what she said, from what we know about it, I have to believe that part of her still doesn't trust it.
Mm-hmm. Of course not. That's Jax. That's just her normal nature. Like, right. I think that as a black woman,
hello,
I'm not going to necessarily believe the white man or what he says. I mean, I'm sorry. Black person for that matter, but especially black women. But here we go. Here we are.
So here we are. I'm trying to have a black girl moment with my girl. And then here you come, not getting the hint or being willfully obtuse. You can tell Jax is not interested, and you actually coming over here, buying a bottle and chilling. Like, I've been at work with you all day. Quiet as it's kept, I feel some kind of way about you any damn way. And I just don't feel like doing all of that. And here you are, you're flirting with my homegirl. I'm sensitive to infidelity. Again, be it all the shit that I have going on, because I don't know that you're separated, because that's something else you're lying about. That's something else you're not keeping the bread fresh about. Here you are in my friend face. I tell you to go home. Like, the night is done. Go to your wife and quit bullshitting with me. I got smoke for Sally too. Because, bitch, you're never that thirsty. Especially over that.
Took the ring off ASAP.
He took the ring off. You're going through my phone. First off, I don't know why Jack's phone wasn't locked, but, TV. Going through my phone to find this man's contact information when LinkedIn and social media are all available. Bitch, you're not that thirsty. You could have found him anyway. He's essentially a public figure. He's a player.
Guess what, Rachel? Using LinkedIn and Facebook and all that other stuff, that means it's had to come at a future date. She wanted that number now. She wanted him right now, like tonight. I need to find you.
Yeah, them notifications pop up.
She wanted to be sure. Wanted to be sure. This is Sally from the Valley.
Sally from the Valley was ready to go, and that really irritated me. And so here we are watching these whack ass strokes. Like, I know it wasn't worth all of that.
Jax told her she doing the most. She said, "I love it." She said, "I love it." She in the game. She addicted. She love it. She love the game. She love it.
And that's why I called you a hoe. Because, bitch, what? You just,
and that's the thing. I was
husband, and I'm not. If you have multiple partners, I ain't mad at you. Whatever. If you're single, but you just not that hard up for that dick. It's Bill is not even impressive enough to be doing all of that behind. You didn't look at him and be like, I got to have some of that. That's what I'm looking for. He's just not that.
That's why I think it's interesting that the season has been giving us these hints that that's who Sally is in the group.
Yeah.
Like, so there is that one. I think we all have that one friend, or I don't want to put that on all friend groups, but you know of somebody, whether they're in your group or not, where if they get left around and some drinks is flowing, it might just go down. It might just go down. Oh well.
Yeah.
So the point is, I think Jax had that in her head also of just of all the friends I could have been out with. I don't think anybody else in the group would have been after Bill except for Sally.
For sure.
And that's just them. That's the writing, and that's them building up who Sally is. And obviously, it does feel left field, but that's going to have some kind of repercussion. I don't know what it is, other than, you know, having Jax not feel a way about it. Because I'm sure Sally's going to say something. I don't know if she's going to keep this a secret. She might not admit that she got his info from her phone, but hey, we ended up running into each other, or I found him on LinkedIn, or whatever the case may be. And I don't know if this is going to have an issue with be a problem with the wife of it all, or maybe Jax runs into Kendra, or is introduced to Kendra. I don't know, but that's a perfect transition to talk about Bill and Kendra.
Yeah.
Bill is in his office before he gaslights Jax, and he's trying to get date night finalized. And Kendra moves the date back as far as it's supposed to be probably at 7:30, 8:30. And we see when he's dropping her off, it's daylight. Yeah, he moved it up. Excuse me. Moved it up. Doesn't care about the Michelin star restaurant that they've been on the wait list for 10 months about.
We can go to Applebee's.
Yeah, we can go to Applebee's. You know what I'm saying? We can get this. We can go to Wendy's. All I care about. Shout out to
Fofofos.
We can do all of this, but we're moving this dinner up.
Yeah.
And they have dinner, and it looks pleasant. You know, Bill seems like he's on top of things. He brought the pronounce them for me. Peonies.
Peonies.
Peonies. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I know I messed it up once. Orders a bottle of Dom. Hey man, you know, you gonna catch me twice. Orders a bottle of Dom for the table. You know what I'm saying? Big boy shit. You know, ask about her job. Doesn't discuss his. Reconnecting about old days. Like all the context clues, they're all there. He picked up on them and said, "You know what? I'm gonna be a changed man for you, even if it does seem a bit performative." And as they're having this time, there's a moment where Bill says, you know, as they're talking about college days, hey, or law school days, that was the second best day of my life after I married you. You can kind of see Kendra's face like,
was it?
You know what I mean? And as he goes to drop her off with the sun still out, because she ain't trying to get no late night shit with Bill, he wants to see if he can come inside so they can talk more, attempts to go in for the kiss, and Kendra tells him,
shuts it down.
I'm done. Like, you know what I mean? And that's I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that where you don't know that the date that you're on is like the final date or the final closure. I don't know if I've been there before. That's happened to me. And it's a very weird feeling when you think everything just went smooth.
Yeah.
And you get hit with by the way, like I ain't doing this. I talked to a divorce lawyer. Like, what? Like, we just had a great time. But Kendra does say, yeah, but this isn't going to happen for another 3-4 years probably. Like, you know, this happens once a year. I know how this goes.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to get myself hyped for it. Now, let me ask you, Rachel. Well, I know the answer to it, which was going to be, should she have given Bill a chance? But they've been married for how long? She's probably been giving them plenty of chances. Or just to see, is this a new turn leaf? Because she hasn't seen this version of Bill in a long time from what it looks like. Do I want to give it a little bit of time to see if this is consistent? Maybe he has changed, or since I know and I've been living this life since law school, I'm going to go ahead and just exit stage left because I ain't got time for it no more, which is shout out to Kendra for that.
I think that Kendra is making the right decision. We're talking about Bill having questionable integrity and motives and this, that, and the third. I think she's been dealing with Bill and his bullshit, to your point, since law school. Like, I'm going to change. It's going to be better. It's going to be different this time. And then also consider, and I was having this conversation with a homeboy of mine. Think about how quickly Bill was ready to jump on Sally. This ain't his first rodeo. We questioned when we first met him whether part of the separation and divorce was due to some infidelity, and it didn't initially seem like it. But now I'm gonna put it out there and say Bill probably have been getting it in. Like some of that, some of those long hours you were putting in were on your back. Or knees, however you get it, you know. So I'm gonna take in all of that, and I'm gonna shout out Kendra because Bill is tricky. Bill is tricky as hell.
Yeah, she knows. So even though we can have, I mean, I'm sure they've known each other for so long that we can go out, have dinner, have a good time. But I see the excitement and the twinkle in your eye about reconnecting, and you want to take me upstairs to do the same thing. Well, Sally came later, but you know, I know what this is, and I'm not there yet. And matter of fact, I'm just tired, and that just happens a lot. You get you silly, you maybe you just get tired. You get tired of the bullshit. You're just tired, and it's time to move on.
For sure.
And once you hit that phase, that's a point of no return. You know, Kendra's done. Like there is no reconciliation, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens from it and what that leads to. I want to talk about. Go ahead. Do you have somebody in mind?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say I want to talk about like Ozzie and the trial of it all.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into that. Let's talk about just first and foremost Monica. We see the episode open with Ozzie having a dream, or it looks like Monica's tying up Wendy. And we realize it's a nightmare. And as he's washing his face, Monica's there with him.
Yeah.
So symbolism, his nightmare is always with him. It's always around. He can't escape it. And he's having a very difficult time. Monica pulls up to Ozzie's house, upset about the subpoena.
Yeah.
Ozzie got the blunt hanging out like Lennox and Belly. You know what I mean? Says it's his birthday. He ain't trying to hear this shit.
Crazy.
Like just very, very dismissive of Monica. Asked Monica if she had something to hide, because she told him at the end of the last episode that she was protecting him like always, which has made him skeptical even more about her role in Wendy's disappearance. And she confirms that, hey, or at least alleges that I had nothing to do with Wendy. I found a blood-stained sweatshirt in your room. I was trying to protect you. We saw she burned that. So I want to ask you real quick. We talked a little bit about it, but now with all of this, knowing that it wasn't necessarily Wendy wearing that sweatshirt, she was burning it because she found it in Ozzie's room. Whose sweatshirt do you think that is? Any thoughts on that?
It is probably Ozzie's sweatshirt. But did Ozzie have it on?
Interesting.
I am inclined, I'm not hanging my hat on Kristen, but it's right there.
I was just about to, just real quick. If it isn't Ozzie, if Ozzie wasn't wearing it, then that means somebody planted it back in his room. So that goes even further.
Which leads me to my next point as we consider the entirety of the episode and sort of what we see. Alex comes back into mind for me.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Alex, the drug dealer who is jealous of everything that I have, who does things for money, because why did Kristen give you that $10,000?
Yeah, they have something going on. Alex and Kristen, they have some kind of secret that they don't want to get out. Because that's why he is fuck knowing her phone. You don't do that unless I'm trying to stay clear of this nigga.
Yeah,
but I can't block him. I gotta know he's trying to reach out to me. I can't block him. And if you can't block somebody, that means there's still some kind of tie or connection there.
For sure. So Alex is back in play for me, or maybe in play for the first time for me. We know he was there at Ozzie's. We know we got him high out of his damn mind. We know you don't necessarily have my best interest in mind. You refused to be an alibi at first when we could have just resolved this and said you were with me and we were home. So now, because you didn't get $100,000, you put yourself in it, got embarrassed on the stands, and now are in an even more precarious place. It might be Alex. Maybe it might have been Alex's hoodie that he brought back to the house, bloodied and buried in Ozzie's house.
I guess I like where you're going with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a question about Alex that we see at the end of the episode. But also, Ozzie didn't necessarily seem surprised. It's almost like he knew about that bloody hoodie as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're at that point of the season where I don't know who knows what or exactly what's going on. We know Kristen and Alex have something, even though we don't know exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Ozzie knows more than what he's letting on as well.
For sure.
Reminds me a lot of season 1 with Sean Patrick Thomas's character, where he kind of played it cool the entire. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you've probably seen all of Reasonable Doubt. So, spoiler alert if you haven't. But he played it cool the entire season just to find out he did that shit.
Yeah.
Just to find out he really did that shit and was presenting it another way, and everybody believed him. I believed him for sure. I did not think that was the case. So, I don't think Ozzie did it, but I definitely think he's aware of what happened and what potentially could have been. And it might have been one of those pairs. Who knows? I don't know. Either way, you brought up Alex. We see at the end of the episode, Daniel was calling Alex, and we see Alex with a book with a USB drive in it that he takes out. And we see a still shot. It looks like a video, but it's a still shot of Wendy with what looks like a belt, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. We don't know who else is in this video. We don't know who's recording. We do know that Alex mentioned leaking a home video. I'm assuming that's probably Ozzie and it's some damning shit. I don't know. Hopefully not no race play shit. I'm just saying, man, just
nothing is really out of the realm of possibility.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what could be so damning that you won't want to release. I know nobody wants their private affairs to be leaked online, but if it's just a regular sex tape, that's not the worst. If it's something that's embarrassing or damning, if you're performing a kink, which we don't kink shame here, we got y'all, do what y'all do, live how y'all live. There are some probably hard lines. We ain't gonna talk about them now. Either way, it's probably some kink or some kind of, preference that they have that could be damage to their image. That's what I'm thinking about when I see something of that nature. So
for sure,
I don't know.
I'm with you on that. I was torn. I'm like, is this some sort of race play with the belt, or was she tying him off?
Could be something. Something's going to pop out. It's going to come up. And Alex has the USB. I do want to ask you, because this Lincoln guy, Lincoln, what's his name? Lincoln Culpepper. So Daniel sees Kristen meeting with him. He's taking photos and sees her meeting with him. A hug. Seems like they know each other, so it's not like a one-time meeting or first-time meeting. And he ends up, I guess, following Lincoln, ends up in the same bar, buys him a drink, and finds out some information. We know Lincoln's a journalist. There's a story he was working on that got squashed, and selling out friends for a book deal, the whole nine. We don't know anything else or involved players, but we know Kristen is. He mentioned he backed out. Lincoln said he backed out. So who else is this? Is this Alex? And I think that's what Daniel's trying to find out. But what did you take from their interaction?
It's Alex. I'm very curious as to why he backed out, and maybe just because of everything that happened on the stand. Like, now I can't come forward with some of this because now it's no longer super credible. I think it's Alex. I'm curious as to why he was already so drunk at this bar, but it's a bar. And Daniel was able to manipulate that, So definitely something between Kristen, Alex, and Lincoln.
Yeah, something's going on for sure. And if anybody's going to find out, it's going to be Daniel, because Daniel is good at his job.
For sure.
And I want to jump back over to Ozzie before we talk about some of the trial stuff. First and foremost, only your real friends can pull up while you fighting for your life and say, "Police, nigga, open the door. We know you did that shit." Like, that can make jokes about that shit and you not be offended. That has to be some real friendship, because nigga, fuck y'all. But they pull up with the go ahead.
Yes, to that aspect of this whole friendship interaction. Yes, the party has to be at my house because I am on house arrest. Howsoever, if you know I'm fighting a murder trial and my drug usage has come into play, maybe me getting high as hell on my birthday in the house with a bunch of strippers is not the best play.
Oh yeah, 100% not the best play.
Best friends.
Yeah, and that's there could be a much deeper conversation that's had about that, just about
Yeah.
men in general. I'll talk about black men since I am a black man, but just in general of the surface level,
Mhm.
I guess, expectations
Yeah.
or basement ceiling, maybe I guess would be the best word. The the ceiling of our conversations and how open and vulnerable we are amongst each other.
Mhm.
It's definitely something that I've had and taken into action with my friends and ask more questions and just be a lot more intentional because if we let it be, it can genuinely be,
Yeah.
hey, what's going on? Life is good, cool. Let's talk about the game. And there's a lot
Mhm.
of other shit that's really going on. So just being intentional about, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? I know this is a lot. That should have been the more mature. Maybe if Ozzie was in his 30s, hopefully he has friends like that. But
Yeah.
they don't care. Ozzie's still rich. He still got access to the big booty bitches and the cocaine and all that. So that's all they're here for real. I don't
Well,
know if they're real friends. I don't trust any Hollywood anything.
yeah.
Like so for that matter. But yeah, that's why they joke and say that all the memes about men can have a 10-minute conversation with somebody in the mall and realize, like, I don't know who that person is. Like, I know
Yeah.
where I know them from, but I don't know their name. I don't know anything pertinent about them. So, yeah, that's a great catch, Rachel. They're not good for Ozzie, but we've realized there's not really too many people that are good for Ozzie in
Nobody.
his life, and which is why he is who he is.
Mhm.
But he's with, and this is where things get, I'm sure, pulling from real life as far as the relationship between um, the victim and their abuser.
Mhm.
Things can get a little bit odd, and this is where lines get gray or blurred because Ozzie is with one of the strippers. Intentionally, you can tell trying to piss off Monica
Yeah.
and takes the stripper to the back. Monica's looking, pours herself a drink, and while he's having sex with this stripper, Monica comes back there,
Mhm.
begins pleasuring herself. And this turns Ozzie on, and he's making eye contact with Monica and not the stripper. But as soon as things come to a climax, he pushes the stripper off, tells her she needs to get the fuck out. Sees
Yeah.
some of that Hulk rage that he was described as on the stand,
Mhm.
to which she described weird ass nigga,
Yeah.
which I thought was hilarious. Not funny because Ozzie going through it, but if you don't know shit about shit, weird
Mhm.
ass nigga, what the fuck you got going on?
Yeah.
What did you think about um just that whole interaction and the Monica and Ozzie of it all? And just we got to see really how deep that connection was, no matter how creepy and
And
disturbing it
inappropriate it
was
is.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to start it off, to your point, Monica's at the house because Jax is calling her in.
Mm-hmm.
They are in the middle of a lover's quarrel, a lover's spat when the friends pop up at the house. And we immediately see Ozzy again turning it on in front of his friends and rightfully so putting Monica in her place, reminding her that, you work for me, this, that, and the third, despite whatever relationship that we have, that the friends may have some questions about, but probably don't know in depth what the relationship truly is. And so here we are, and here is Monica being forced, and I'm not saying this because I feel sorry for her, but being forced to find the big booty bitches who will sign the NDAs and all of the things. So now I have to do this. I have a sexual relationship with you despite how inappropriate it is, and I'm sure we'll talk about what was revealed in court. um there are feelings beyond client uh and agent. There are feelings beyond just some inappropriate sex that we've been having for the better part of a decade plus. There is some sort of twisted quote unquote love here that Monica claims to feel, um we can't take Ozzy's feelings of potential love for Monica because of the manipulation and how this happened. But for her, as the abuser and the adult, it's a little weird. I mean, it's quite weird, not just a little. But here she is now. Ozzie's taking this woman back into the room. You know, I have an attitude. I'm irritated, but I also know who I am to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know that I'm here. I know that you're trying to get under my skin. I know that you're trying to piss me off with this stripper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come in here and remind you of who I am to you.
Mm. Yeah. Which
Everything
is
that you crazy.
good. Yeah, crazy.
Everything that you know about sex, you learned it from me.
Yeah, that's creepy, man. That's really disturbing.
Extremely so.
Yeah.
Extremely so. I'm gonna come in here and how deep and twisted this shit is. Not only am I going to come and watch you, and I know you're going to watch me watch you, I am also going to participate in this endeavor via self pleasure. I
Mm-hmm.
know what that does to you. Hurry it up. And it was also an ego thing for Monica. Because
Mm-hmm.
just in case I thought that maybe you fake done with me, you mad at me, this and the third. Let me just see what I can do. And she did it. He
Mm-hmm.
finished. He didn't cuddle. He didn't do anything. He kicked that young stripper lady out, and rightfully so. Weird ass nigga. Um, it, it was. I was not surprised by any of it.
Yeah.
Very jarring. Very weird. There's a lot of Stockholm syndrome going on
I
in this.
literally was gonna say that same thing. Stockholm syndrome. That's what it feels like.
But here we are. I was not at all surprised by any of that. I'm more surprised actually that Monica let it go on as long as she did in the lowest of keys. I was surprised that she didn't. If she would have tried to join, I would not have been surprised. Or if she turned up in that room, I would not have been surprised
Yeah.
'cause the jealousy is there.
100%. 100%. So yeah, it's creepy and
Yeah.
it's weird, but it also is kind of necessary for us, for what we get in the trial, and just
Mhm.
to kind of get the extent of their relationship, even though I don't want to call it a relationship, making it seem like it's both sides, but it's the complexity of it
Yeah,
and
for sure.
how messed up Ozzie is. And I think if you haven't been abused or been in that situation or been, the abuser, whatever,
Mhm.
either way, I don't think you really understand it. People look at stuff like that and say, well, why didn't you just stop? Why didn't you just leave? Why are
Yeah.
you still, Jax even asked him, like, why are you still hanging out with her? And it just kind of goes to show, I think this moment is necessary to show it's not that simple. You mentioned Stockholm syndrome. I don't, if anybody's into true crime or
Mhm.
anything, look up it was in the 70s, like 73 or something like that, 74. Look up the bank robbery that led to the term Stockholm syndrome
Mhm.
and like all the stuff that happened. Like it's a very interesting dynamic between oppressor and oppressed in a sense. I'm not to get that deep, but
Yeah.
that's kind of what it is. And yeah, as difficult as it was to watch, it does give me a lot more clarity into what was going on.
Mhm.
Not just telling, but showing in the show. But that leads to us getting to trial. Jax, we know because we talked about it with the bill of it. Bill didn't agree, but he wants to get Monica on the stand because we're not looking to accuse her. We're just looking to have the jury realize there is
Plant the
somebody
seed
else
of
that had
reasonable
motive.
doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we need to do. That's what our job is. And I want to know what you thought about the meeting between Jax and Monica, because Jax is so smart. Because she kind of called her in to disarm her.
Disarmor, for sure.
Yeah, disarm her. Just say this is what it is. We're just gonna talk. We're just trying to make sure people know Ozzie's character, temperance, the whole nine. And Monica's thinking she thought she was one up. Like, yeah, I thought you was gonna see things my way. Sure.
That's what I thought you was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thought I had your ass.
you're absolutely right about all of that. I didn't know what to take. And again, in the opening, I said that I was kind of surprised. I didn't know what to take from the meeting because yes, we knew that Jax's intention was to bring Monica in. When they called the meeting of the minds, I believe that Monica thought that the questioning would 1000% go a different way.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we're meeting here, we're discussing this, we're on the same page with getting Ozzie off. We're on the same page of where I stand on getting Ozzie off. Come to find out, that was in fact not the case.
Mm-hmm.
I was taken aback, and I'm still trying to wrap my mind around how I feel about Jax's level, a line of questioning for Monica in court.
In what sense? And I also think it's important to say while you thinking about that, it's important to say that it was easy for Monica to view things like that and not even have that second guessing of, what do I? This is weird. Is Jack trying to play me? Because that just shows how in love and how infatuated she is with Ozzie and the role that she really thinks she has in his life. So if this is for Ozzie and to get him off, then cool, I'm game. Like, sign me up.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy because it made sense for her character. Anybody else would have been like, nah, that shit seemed too simple. I ain't going. Something seems off. And I think she probably thought Ozzie wouldn't have put her in a position. He would have came and told me if this was the plan. So that part of it made sense.
Exactly.
But I'm curious about your thought with Jackson and her line of questioning.
I understand the why. And I understand the protection of Ozzie. My goal is to get him off. And high key, bitch, I want you in jail anyways. Like, fuck you. You're a child rapist. When Ozzie said he necessarily didn't want that to happen with bringing Monica on, Jax has what she wants to do in her own mind. I am thinking of Ozzie's parents. He did not reveal who it was. He was adamant about not revealing who his abuser was. And I understand in their conversation thereafter, I'm done protecting you. Ozzie is the client. Ozzie is the client. Ozzie is the client. But I don't think his parents should have found out like that.
Fair. I agree 100%.
And I understand in part of I don't necessarily want to say attack, but part of the attack on Monica during Jax's line of questioning, it felt way too personal. And think what the initial prosecutor said, Jax, she makes it personal, essentially, long story short. So here we are putting your own self and your own abuse at the forefront. And I think that came into play with she and Monica. And I don't quite know how I feel about it yet. I understand why she was doing it, but I do think she got a little caught up in the rapture. And there are going to be other repercussions behind this. You know what I'm saying? Not only have you now exposed Monica to Mr. and Mrs. Edwards and that fallout, obviously you can no longer work for me, this and the third. I'm not protecting Monica, I'm not saying it like that, but I'm wondering if because Jax did this, does her quote unquote love for Ozzie now trump her keeping whatever level of protection that she was doing? Now does that go out the window because you're trying to put it on me? But let me tell you this, does my love stop that after you've humiliated and exposed me in this level? So I'm wondering what potential backlash happens from this.
I didn't even look at it from that perspective, not that deeply. So I'm glad you broke that down, and it was very well said, because now as you're talking about it, well, first, it would be a disservice if we don't have some kind of interaction between the parents and Jax or parents and Ozzie in the next episode, just to discuss this a little bit further. Because to your point, as I'm replaying that scene in my mind, that is an awful way. And you and I talked about this with multiple shows on multiple episodes about being the last person to know, or it's one thing when you embarrass me privately versus embarrass you publicly. You know what I mean? Like when everybody knows, that changes the dynamics. I probably could have lived with this if this was just a you and me thing.
Yeah.
But now everybody knows, and now it's weird because Monica was sitting next to the mom.
Yes.
Like held her hand, like gave her encouragement.
Yeah.
Like mom gave her some encouragement. Like, you got this.
And this whole time you fucking my son, bitch.
Yeah. So to think about it, not knowing, that's 100% something that should have. The same way Jax said, man, what advice did she give Ozzie earlier? To tell her parents about him being abused. Once you make this decision about Monica and this is where you're going to take it, you need to have that same convo with Ozzie and say, hey, it might be time, because you have the sense and the wherewithal to know when it's time to communicate and not. It might be time to sit your parents down and finally tell them who it is, because it's going to come out in court. And it's much better for your relationship if you tell them now.
Yep.
Now maybe is there some, well, hey, Jax feared that if this was found out that Monica wouldn't have shown up. Okay, I get that. But then you can really be Jax, the badass lawyer that you are, and make sure that you explain explicitly to the parents, like, there's no way Monica can know. She has to think everything's cool. Yeah. I didn't say you got to hold her hand and sit next to her, but you can't give off that something's about to happen.
For sure.
Understand. And even you got to sit there until you excuse. Like, that was all personal. So you made a great point of saying that. It was all personal. Justify. I want to make sure everybody's clear on what Rachel and myself are saying. Not saying she was wrong, but it's also personal. And the court of law is just not somewhere where you can do that, because if it works on one side, it can work for the other.
What's good
it just gets a little bit too messy.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
so absolutely. And she has to admit in front of everybody that he gave Ozzie his first sexual experience at 13. And as I said earlier, the dynamic of their relationship is just odd. Like, he wasn't 13, he was a star. Like, he wasn't a child, he was a star. You know what I mean? Just she really looked at it like he was the best man I'd ever known. Like, it was like, what? You really believe it?
Not that hard up.
Yeah, some sick shit. Some real sick shit. She said they had something pure. Like, and you groomed him. Like, you were sick.
For sure.
You're sick. And Monica pleads with Ozzie after everything's all said and done, goes chasing after him. And I started thinking about those security guards. I know this is random, but I started thinking about those security guards and all the shit they probably seen over the years. Any security guard for that matter.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what the fuck? Like, what's his name? Julius? I want the stories Julius got. Either way. Monica pleads with Ozzie. Security's stopping her, and he tells Jax, give me a minute, and says, I'm finally choosing myself. After all these years, why am I so worried about protecting you?
Yeah.
And you took all my innocence. Like, I grew up in front of the world. I was the breadwinner for my family. What could I have been had you not been in my head and on my dick?
Yeah.
And I'll never know that answer. I will never know. I'm fucked up. And I probably will be fucked up for a very long time. Probably not. I probably wouldn't have had to search for that escape because of all the shit that's going on and the confusion of you still being around.
Yeah.
So I thought it brought everything home with that relationship and everything that's going on between them. It's tired of protecting her. I have to mourn who I was or could have been at this point. And you got what you got. You got what you deserve. But we do have to have some kind of fallout conversation. Mama got to cuss Jax out. Something. Because I feel you, and I feel you trying to protect my son, bro. But nah.
I don't want to say not like that, because really it's by any means necessary. But damn, please let me know something.
Yeah.
Let me know something. And we see Ozzie's response to it all in court. And to your earlier point, he's not acting here.
Yeah, not at all.
For the most part, sober, beyond a little bud. I have to deal with this. It's not easy. There is a level of shock that I actually have, because I think I could take the world knowing I do a little drugs, whatever. But now y'all know that I'm a victim of sexual abuse, sexual trauma, and it's not by some man offering me a part
Yeah.
or somebody on set. It is somebody that I trust did, my family trusts. And when we think about the dynamics of a lot of abuse, it is a lot of family friend, a relative, this, that, and the third. And so here we are. And I'm not just confronting that in the privacy of my home or with my parents. I am now confronting that with the world watching.
Yeah.
While on trial for murder.
To that point, I don't know if the show will get this deep into it, but I'm thinking about a situation like that, and I'm thinking about Ozzie, and I'm thinking about him being a victim, but there's still, since he's a man who was abused by a woman, we see this all the time, right? We see if a teacher, the 25-year-old teacher has sex with her 14-year-old student, some of the rhetoric online turns into, I wish I had teachers like that when I was in high school. Or, you know what I mean? Like, all of that goes on. So there's going to be a percentage of the internet, as he's living this out in front of the world, like you just said, that looks at Ozzie and says, oh, you this or you that, because you shouldn't be complaining. You know, I wish that I had a grown woman giving me my first experience without even knowing the nonsense that they're saying.
Yeah.
So he has to deal with that. And sad as it is, he's going to have to adjust to not having Monica around, because that's all he's known.
That's all.
And that's, I'm sure, is going to bring some kind of discomfort in his day-to-day life. Even though she was discomfort as a whole and led to this, it's still not going to be easy to break the routine and system, especially during a time like this when I need stability. No matter how fucked up it is, I need that stability. So it's a lot of stuff that Ozzie's going to go through. We have 4 more episodes this season to kind of sort it out. I really hope Ozzie's okay. I know he's a fictional character, but you want people to be all right, because Ozzie got a lot going on. And even if he isn't the most, I guess, likable for those terms, but we see the reasoning. Speaking of Ozzie, let's talk about a sibling really quickly. Kristen gets on the stand and absolutely bombs. She's not prepared. You made a point that I didn't think about. Maybe she does this on purpose. But the biggest thing is, after she finishes, Daniel chases after her. Everybody's stuck. Everybody's stuck this episode. What the fuck I got going on? Daniel chases after her, consoling her in the hallway, and Crystal sees them and realizing, oh, this is the girl that you like. Once again, shitting where you eat. Daniel's way too close to a lot of different things, but it is what it is. I want to hear more about you thinking Kristen did this on purpose, or potentially did this on purpose.
Krista said Ozzie's not the only actor in the family. Kristen has been acting and playing everybody. Kristen been playing chess while everybody been playing checkers since we've met her. So I can't prove it, but I have the inkling that Kristen is putting on a show, because we already know she's involved in some capacity with Alex, and now the Lincoln Culpepper of it all. Somehow this is all linked. I refuse, not just can't, I refuse to believe that Jax did not prepare you for the stand, for what we know about Jax as an attorney. So to get up there and be blabbering all over the place and the crocodile tears and not having your story essentially straight, you've been lying this whole time. Now you have trouble. You've been clear about your role in your brother's life and who he is. Now it's so hard to get out. It's so hard to be expressive. You've been getting this nigga drugs. You ain't even have to say that on the stand.
Right.
Something about it was a little inauthentic to me. And I think that is going to come out later. I don't trust it. I don't believe that performance was I believe it was a performance. That's it. Yeah, I don't trust it because I don't trust Kristen.
That's a very fair point. While I didn't think about the stand being inauthentic, I thought maybe she just got caught up. Everything else I did see, and it's actually frustrating that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people can't see how inauthentic she is. Like Daniel running to her every beckoning call
Yeah.
is frustrating because, bruh, you can't see that this is an act that she playing.
He ain't never had no good
And
food before.
I mean, listen, Daniel said he be getting it in. But we'll keep an eye on that. Kristen's definitely up to something, as we say every week. We just don't know
For
exactly
sure.
what it is.
For sure.
And let's talk about the Jax of it all. To get more into Jax's lives and his life and her family dynamic. And we opened this episode with Jax showing up to an NA meeting. So for Eddie's celebrating his 5-year sober anniversary, getting his pin. And this is a big step from where we were. Seeing Eddie at the end of episode 1
Yeah.
show up to the house, get excused, her battling this past to, you know what, I'm voluntarily showing up to your NA meetings and I'm putting in the effort. That's all Eddie wants. She meets Lionel, Eddie's
Gun-toting
alleged
sponsor.
sponsor. We'll see. And they exchange the pleasantries, have a picture. And once Jax leaves, Lionel turns to Eddie and says, how long are you going to keep? When are you going to tell her how long you're going to keep lying to her?
Mm-hmm.
He mentions that he doesn't want to break her heart, which we don't know what that means at the moment. But obviously they wanted to put this here to show that Lewis might have been right and that Eddie isn't sober. I think Eddie still is sober. I think it's all about Mama Lou. Do you think there's anything with his drug usage that he is still hiding?
I think that Eddie is sober. I don't think it's about the drugs of it all, but I do think that Eddie is hiding something besides Mama Lou's health.
Okay, then. All right. It does feel odd that Lionel would know about Mama Lou's health. Unless, I mean, I don't want to say odd. If Lionel is indeed his sponsor, I know that's a very intricate and intimate and detailed relationship. So he probably wouldn't know that. I don't know. We see Lewis, once he sees the picture, he realizes Lionel is the same guy that he saw Eddie with.
Yeah.
Still no information of that they were using drugs. We talked about that last week about Lewis just jumping out the window. But I don't know. There is something going on that I think the show is trying to tell us. It's got to be more than Mama Lou. Because what were they doing at that spot? They could have just been going to a meeting. I'm not accusing Eddie of anything, but I think the show is setting something up. To your point.
Sure. I agree totally. I think that Eddie might need some money. You sober, but you owe some people.
You think? See, I feel like Eddie would be upfront about that. Well, I guess it's hard to come back in somebody's life after all these years. Somebody you disappointed over and over, and then 10 seconds in the conversation ask for some money.
Yeah.
And it's even more disheartening, I guess, once you build a relationship. And just to find, then it's going to look like, oh, you've been doing all this just for the bread.
Just for that, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think about that, but you might be onto something. Which is maybe why when she knocks on the door, he's a little startled. Like, who is it? Like,
yeah.
Anybody could be looking at me for any moment. And I work with, the music industry is just, it's tricky.
It's tricky. It's tricky and it's treacherous. So, yeah.
Jax and Lewis at therapy. Seem to be in a good spot. And there's a little bit concern because Lewis's parents flying in from Philly to have dinner.
Yeah.
Or late lunch, early dinner. And it's going to be with both families. Lewis just wanted it to be his parents, his brother, and Jax. A party of 5. Now it's a party of 7.
I don't think I realized in all of these seasons that Lewis came from a well-to-do family.
It makes sense though, right?
And now in hindsight, it makes total sense. Lewis thinks he's better than Jax, despite her having the money, because of his familial upbringing. He damn sure thinks he's better than Mama Lou and Eddie, because look at me and my family. And as someone whose parents are still married, and yes, I do, when I go home, I do sleep in my childhood bedroom, this, that, and the third. Like, I understand what that means. And I understand why that was important to Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
But I also see kind of how and why he is the way he is. You think you have some sort of moral high ground because you come
Mm-hmm.
from, because you was a Jack and Jill
Huxtables. Yeah,
kid.
yeah. He was a Huxtable.
But really, you're trash.
But that's the, you know what?
Trash.
Not to jump ahead to the conversation with his brother, but
Mhm.
I think people who aren't grounded or who can't see themselves,
Yeah.
that's why they're not likable. They're unlikable because you really do think you are better.
Yeah.
You do have
Yeah.
a higher place in society
Hmm.
because of
Hmm.
how you were raised, not because of who you are, because how you were raised. And his
And
brother reminds him, bro, how you was raised really ain't got shit to do with nothing because you was out here doing your shit too.
exactly, exactly. And it's so interesting because Lewis's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Stewart, seem much more down to earth than maybe Lewis gives them credit for it, or what we could expect being how he is.
It's also interesting as I get older and experience more. One of the things that's a constant is there is no cookie cutter form of a relationship.
For sure. For sure.
And a lot of times growing up, and you can see Lewis dealing with this, he just has this one idea of what this is supposed to look like
Yeah.
because this is how I was raised. I saw both my parents in the same house,
Hmm.
and I can go to my childhood bed and so on and so forth. So you imagine or you're chasing that. When in all actuality, you need to find out what makes sense for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if enough people like really write down what do I need, like
Hmm.
personally, and can this match up with whoever I plan on being my partner, whatever the case
Yeah.
is. And it's too much about what it should look like versus what it actually is.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's a great call out because Lewis is 1,000%. I'm better than you type of nigga.
He
And he
is.
has no reason to be. He
He
just can't see it.
is.
Like he's based off that.
Uh-huh.
Um, I like the advice that their therapist told him. Like, listen, why you always waiting for the other foot to drop?
Just
You know,
be.
yeah, being the present, take it for what it is. It's either gonna be
Mhm.
a good dinner or it ain't. Like it ain't that deep, y'all. And I think they need more of that. We need more of that in general. Don't overthink and stay present. And we get to the family lunch dinner, and Lewis is acting like a child. It really
He
was pissing
is
me off.
pouting.
It was the pouting shit, bruh. Like,
Mhm.
stop that shit, man. We at dinner. Like for real, like you a grown ass man, you pouting at the table. That
Yeah.
shit that
Yeah.
shit boils my blood.
Uh-huh.
Like stop the pouting shit. I get it. Like all right, you giving your brother looks. You know what I mean? You looking at
Uh-huh.
Jax. Like nigga, he just sharing some stories about the
That's it.
Delphonics, nigga.
That's
You should
it.
be involved. I want to hear more about the Delphonics and what that shit was like.
Same. I
You
would
know what I
like to
mean? Like
know. And consider this. You're so focused on being mad that I'm here. You're missing an opportunity to actually get to know me.
mm-hmm.
You're missing an opportunity to see and understand who I am as a man, as a person, the experiences that I've had, because you've not heard these stories. It's not like these are stories that you're tired of hearing about. How many times are we going to hear about the Delphonics? The Dells. You open for James Brown. Like, you're not tired of it because you didn't experience. You also already haven't seen this nigga in 8 years.
mm-hmm.
Here I am now, sober, with the clarity of mind to tell my story and talk to your parents because I wasn't at the wedding. This is a fresh start for all of us, but you can't get past your own judgment of me. And probably you still are harboring some feelings of me cussing your ass out, and
Mm-hmm.
rightfully so. But shout out to, I don't think I wrote his brother's name down, but
Terrence.
Terrence. Shout out to Terrence for giving Lewis the reality check that he desperately needed.
Yeah. Like you talk about stability
Mm-hmm.
and how you got this stability from our parents, nigga. You about to have a whole side child and
Come
prepare to
on.
raise them.
Come on.
Is that stability for your kids? I know it's not. So I don't know why you're looking at it like this. And we didn't even get into the whole, hey, Jackson, me and myself need to figure out when we're gonna come to Philly. And he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I've been meaning to tell you, son, I'm moving to Florida."
Bruh.
The right away that he said, "I'm moving to
Me
Florida."
too.
Like Lewis is the last one to really pick it up. I'm moving to
Mhm.
Florida. Mom's talking about something. I don't know what I'm gonna do in that big house by myself. I don't need it. Like, why would
Yeah.
you be in the house by yourself? Well, we married. We didn't get no divorce, but we haven't lived in the same house for some years. I live 3 blocks away. And he
Crazy.
shared a bed, and I don't know how long.
Crazy. Cause why you don't
Didn't
know
check.
that? I guess you've been busy, but you ain't been
Yeah.
home in that long. That made me say, "Ooh, let me get my ass home. Let me take my ass to the mud for a day or two." Ugh.
Right. They doing the opposite of what were they doing in this Christmas? Where they were acting like he didn't live there. Like, nah,
Right.
we don't live here. But space is a beautiful thing, and I'm sure they
For sure.
realize
For sure.
being on top of each other for all these years, or being separated, I guess now, not separated in the legal sense, but
Mhm.
separated as we don't live together, but we're still married. It
Yeah.
gives us more of an opportunity to miss each other and more
Yeah.
opportunity to have things to talk about versus being here to witness everything together. Who
Mhm.
knows what the reasoning is? All that matters is, like I said earlier, it works for them.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep things going on. And Terrence brought up, like, you see how happy they look? They weren't bickering. They actually look like they like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why does it matter if they in the same house or not? And they still married, bro. Like, why does this even bother you? And Pops had a bar. Pops had his bar. We've been grown since before you was born. We don't need your permission to live our lives.
Yeah.
And I think that's something all adults can probably take heed to. We
For
don't need your
sure.
permission to live your life. You
For
need your
sure.
permission to live our lives. And yeah, man, Lewis, I don't know. He just wants to. I don't know if he's. I said it already. Lewis should have been had a conversation with Eddie one-on-one
Yeah.
in a respectful way. Like, yo, let me take you out to lunch. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
you can really hear Eddie out and voice your own concerns and
Mm-hmm.
do it in a very adult, mature manner. And if you come, I'm always a big believer. If you come with humility, if you come with love, you lead with that.
Yeah.
Anybody else's reaction, then you know exactly where it is. If somebody gets mad, then I know, all right, I can't talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason for you to be mad. You got some other shit going on that you need to kind of heal from.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to hear me out, then I know, okay, we can actually build something from here.
Mm-hmm.
So it did seem a little bit odd at the end of the episode when we finally see Eddie and Lewis together.
Yeah.
Obviously, just to talk about how we got there, Lewis calls Daniel and says, hey, leaves a voicemail. Very mature, probably one of the most mature things he's done in this entire series. I think it's fair that Jax finds out and learns about her dad and her way. I don't want to impede on that. I don't want to get involved. Like, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel says, cool, I got your message, but I also just got this news, which I believe Lewis thought that he was sick, Eddie.
Yeah.
Which in turn might go to what you said. I need some money.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm here. But it really was about Mama Lou.
Mm-hmm.
And they find that out and tell Jax at the end of the episode that Mama Lou has cancer. We don't know what form, but she has cancer, which now makes more sense as to why I ain't always going to be around to be a punching bag or to blame everything on. It all starting to make more sense because Mama Lou knows what's going on. Now we don't know to the extent. We don't know how severe it is, or how if it's terminal, whatever the case is. But we'll find out. What are your thoughts, Rachel? Anything else to add as far as the Mama Lou of it all?
Now I'm thinking back to the season or the series, the season trailer where somebody is on the floor. Now I'm thinking, oh my God, is that Mama Lou? And I think that we sort of played with that idea a couple of episodes ago. Yes, we know that she's sick. Maybe that's why Lewis is back. I mean, Eddie is back, but I still think it's something up under there.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I'm glad that he did have that conversation with Lewis. I think that he and Lewis now are making a turning point, or potentially can have a turning point in their relationship. But their conversation isn't over for me. Like, yeah, we got along for this. We had to find some common ground. But the reality is that Eddie is a particular type of man. And when I think about the way Lewis approached him before, and when I think about last week when Mama Lou alluded to the conversation that Eddie and Lewis had, it lets me know that Eddie wasn't quite over it neither, and he definitely felt some kind of way. So I would like to see an actual conversation between the two of them, to see how they sort of reconcile all of that, and then we get whatever Mama Lou has to do with it. You know, I think that there will be something more that comes from her and her sickness. Maybe it's terminal, maybe it's not. Yes, okay, cancer. I don't think that Eddie would lie about that. So I do believe that she is sick.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But there's something up under it all for me. And I haven't quite put my finger on it, but there is something up under it for me. I'm
I
excited
agree with you.
to see what's next.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I'm curious to know if we ever find out what it was that Lewis was told by Dave.
Yeah.
It obviously wasn't the same thing.
Right.
And I assume that it was somebody was sick and he thought it was Eddie, but I don't know. That wasn't confirmed. So all of that could come out next episode. Great episode.
For sure. For sure.
Great episode of Reasonable Doubt. Great episode of We Got Y'all. Anything else that you have before we get out of here?
No, I'm excited. Again, thank you all for watching, listening, subscribing, and sharing. Damn, I still didn't go find that comment from Sierra, but thank you for commenting. It was something to the regards of Mama Lou inviting Eddie in and disrespecting. That would have been a cutoff point. Totally feel you on that, because don't have no, first off, if you know me, don't have nobody in my house. That's gonna set me on fire, father or not. So thank you all. We appreciate you. Thank you for being on this journey with us. And looking forward to the rest of the season and next week. So we got y'all as always.
We got y'all. Don't have nobody at my house, and damn sure don't bring nobody uninvited. If you tell me you come into the crib, don't bring no extra guest. Man, I tell you, that's the quickest way to get left on the doorstep. I promise y'all. Either way, we got y'all. We appreciate y'all. See you next week.
Peace.